Okay, before I start this video, I just want to say thank you so much for 47 subscribers. I started off yesterday with 37, and then I did a live stream and got 10 more subscribers, and that is absolutely insane. So thank you so much for all the support. I got a ton of views on that video. I gained 10 subscribers. And also, I'm using a new video editing software in this video where I can do a lot more stuff to edit my videos. It's more complex, but I'm trying to learn how to use it properly. So if there are some like weird and random edits that I do in this video, it's just because I wanted to see what the full potential of this editor was. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the tutorial. In this video, I say how to beat the entire game of Getting Over It. I do recommend getting this game if you don't already have it, but without further ado, let's just get into the video. Hey guys, it's AwesomeGuy4, and today I'm going to be making a Getting Over It video, and it's going to be a tutorial on how to beat the full game. So I'm going to start a new game even though I'm at the end on my other game slot. So I'm just going to be showing you guys how to do all the parts. So first, you walk over to this tree, and if you don't know how already, there's what you do for a lot of parts is you put your hammer right there, and then you move your mouse down and it flings you up like that. So you just do that to get over a ton of objects in this game. It really helps actually. If you couldn't do that in this game, it would be a lot harder of a game. Yeah, I call it the pogo. Then you just grab onto this rock, grab onto that paddle. You need to remember to do big circles when you're doing these fling yourselves like that. Do bigger circles so that you get more power into the swing. So see, as you can see this part, it's always just swinging up. That's all you do for this part, and that was a mistake. And if you ever do get just stuck on there, you can just pogo up to that. And I find this part, it's the easiest if you just kind of do the pogo and then grab onto this rock and place yourself there, swing off there, up onto there, and then you put your hammer on that rock and push yourself off of it onto here. So this part is actually quite tricky. It will take a while your first few times, and it still takes me a while. But what you want to do is you get to on this rock, and then you pogo off, and don't you, at first, when I first tried this, I would swing my hammer in the direction, in the wrong direction. So watch what direction I'm going to be swinging my hammer in this. See how I swing it toward the light? That time I kind of got wedged, so I don't really know what to do now, but... And also you can pogo off the ground to do it as well, but I find the rock is a bit easier to go off of. So yeah, you just kind of grab onto there, then pull yourself up onto that next lamp. You might get stuck a few times, but yeah, see, it's super easy to fall back to the start, because I don't really like this part because it's so easy to get wedged in a certain spot even if you do it right, just because how tight the tunnel is. So now that you're on this part, you put yourself right, no, not quite. You put yourself so that you're leaning this way, and then you pogo over to that direction. So I find that that's the easiest way to do that part. Now you swing up there off of this metal box, and then you try to grab onto this black thing. Once you grab onto the black thing, you're pretty good. Grab onto the metal box and then the railing. and then you'll grab onto this and place yourself so that you're at a bit of an angle, and then grab on to this little ledge and just kind of like fly your way across, or whatever you want to call it. Then you place yourself on that barricade, because you can fall back down that way, and it's a little annoying when you do. So just try not to fall down there by placing yourself on the barricade before you let go of that ledge. And if you fall down there, I'll show you what's down there. There's this ledge, and then if you fall a bit farther, there's this. But if you fall off of there, then you fall almost back to the start. So if you do end up falling down onto this barricade, what I recommend doing is grabbing your hammer on the very edge and then just flinging yourself up. So grab onto the umbrella, then the rake. Then what I like to do, if it's your first time, you might not want to try that, but like I swing myself off the side off the slide straight onto the boxes. But I find it might be easier if it's your first time to I think it'll be easier if what you try is, so when you grab onto the rake, what you do is you place yourself on the rake, and then you walk up, well, not walk, you're in a cauldron, and then you swing your hammer up there, and then you sit on this part. This route is just for if it's your first time and you don't want to take any big risks. So now, why can I not do this? Now you'll sit on either the ball or this thing and just pogo across. Like I said, pogoing is really helpful. Now you just hang off here and then put your hammer straight up as you're falling, and then reach it out right as you're getting to this floating boxes ledge. Okay, so now you have the hammer fairly close to you. Push yourself across and fall all the way back down. Okay, I'll just get up nice and quick to show you guys what to do next. The hardest part so far has been the lantern grab part. So now you push yourself across and hit off of the wall and the stairs a bunch. That's the best way to do it. Now you grab onto the chair and swing yourself up like that, back and forth. And then usually you don't want to sit on the couch like that. You just fling yourself up like that, and then you do the same there. Now you pogo off the toilet. And try to get onto that cabinet and then sit on this chair. So now you put your hammer on this part of the couch, and then you kind of fly yourself across, and then this part is where you will fall a lot. So this part will take practice. This part will make you mad as well, so try not to get mad, because it will just make you play even worse. So put the very edge of your hammer on that stool, and then pogo up and grab onto this. My record for this speed run, is 11 minutes. Now you grab on to this part, but this part takes most of the time out of the 11 minutes, because you have to go slow because of the rocks. They're very slippery. Now you grab onto this part that's not quite as slanted, and once you get up like this, you've got a good grip. And so you try to put yourself as far to the side as possible. And now this rock is insanely slippery, so you gotta be really careful, or else you'll fall all the way back to that furniture tower. So you place your hammer there and pull yourself closer to the head of the hammer like that. because if you just try swinging up, you'll slide. And so now you put yourself right there, and then you can just grab onto that instead of having to pogo, because you put yourself far enough on that rock. And don't celebrate too early here. You should still be very scared at this part if it's your first time. So you just pogo onto this head, and then pogo to grab onto the hand, and then put the center of your hammer right on the thumb, and then you grab on here, swing up, grab onto this little stone sticking out, and just fly right over. So now, congratulations, you've made it over Orange Hill, but you're not done the game yet, sadly. So this jump, I think, is the hardest jump in the game, right here. Some people might say that the next jump is a bit harder, but I think this one is just too hard. And it's not just that it's tricky, I just think it's annoying, and I don't think he needed to have it in the game. So as you can see, I put myself on the second highest rock, and then I pogoed off with the very edge of my hammer. Alright, so now what you gotta do is place yourself on the very edge of this anvil so that you're almost falling off, but you're not quite falling off, and you gotta pogo up. That's a bad lady. Okay. So this jump might take a while. Some people say this one's harder than the last one. I actually don't know how I did that last one first try, but whatever, I did. I'm not complaining. So this jump is pretty tricky. Nothing happens if you fall down here, thankfully, because it would be very bad if you would fall all the way back to the start or something, because this jump is hard. So okay, so now that you've gotten onto this part, you want to grab onto the flat part right here and place yourself on this rock. Now this angle looks pretty bad, and you think you might hit off that and fall all the way back down to the anvil, but if you put the very tip of your hammer right there and then just pogo up and grab on, I've never actually fallen on that pogo jump. So now you place yourself on this 45-degree angle and pogo across to there, and this part can be very scary if it's your first time, and even kind of scary if you've done it a million times, because you can fall off right back to the 2 annoying jumps. So what you do is you place your hammer right here and fling yourself across like that, and you need to have trust that you will land on here. You might think, oh, maybe I should pogo, but no, you should fling yourself off. And I've heard people say that you should fling yourself off this one, but I find it much easier to just pogo across because you can see where you're going and everything. So this one you definitely have to pogo, because that angle really helps you pogo off. And now this is the last floating rock. So just pogo again and grab onto here. So now you are at the bucket and also the snake. The snake, well, if you ride it, you go back to the very start of the game. And so if it's your first time, I don't recommend doing it. I have ridden the snake twice on purpose, just for fun. I didn't do it on video, but I did it in front of my friends because they're all like, oh, ride the snake, ride the snake. But yeah, I don't recommend it if it's your first time. And if you even just go over here, it's like, oh, you might get so scared, but as long as your hammer isn't pointing this way, you should be good, because you can only ride the snake if your hammer is on top of the snake. So don't be too afraid, because being afraid kind of just makes it more intense and stressful, which you don't want. So you grab onto the bucket, and then you swing back and then jump forward. And now you place yourself, this one's kind of like the anvil jump, except a bit easier. So you place yourself on an angle like that, and then pogo across like that, grab onto the ledge, and swing up. Now, congratulations, you are on the final climb. Well, the second final climb, because there's still one tower left, but the tower isn't too bad. So what I do is I don't go slow like some other people might. I actually try to go fast. Some people do it like they place themselves in each tiny hole. But like maybe you place your hammer in the first hole is what I do. And then after you've placed yourself in the first hole, I just try to fling myself up as fast as I can. See how I'm just swinging my hammer around a bit? Because that strategy seems to work pretty well. And now once you get to here, you place your hammer right there, alright? Now you fling up, and then you'll stop in this hole, because there's a divot here. There are invisible divots all over, which makes this a bit easier. So now you're on the final little divot. Pogo like that, and get up. So you are pretty much done the game by now. Just a little bit further to go. If it's your first time, you're probably very excited right now. But just remember to stay calm. So you pogo up onto here, then pull yourself straight up onto this next little panel. Darn. This tower, don't let it trick you. This tower is actually very hard. And until I kind of learned a strategy, it was the hardest part for me. So now you sit on there, and then you get up onto this part. Wow! Don't fall. You gotta just be careful with everything you do in this game. So now you place the edge of your hammer right there, swing up, grab onto here. Now you pull yourself down so that you're sitting right there. Now, just swing up. And if you swing good enough, then you won't fall back down. But you gotta give it a good swing, or else you'll fall back down to the bottom of that tower. So, yeah, now you are pretty much done the game. All you gotta do is just fling yourself up a bit more. You're floating. Now, see, this part's just easy. You just gotta fling yourself up a bit. It's not hard at all. And now I am done. So, yeah, that is a full game tutorial on how to beat Getting Over It. I did it in 18 minutes. My record is 11, but yeah, now you do this, hit yes, and then enter your name. I'll be awesome guy. And then it takes you to this chat, and it just, like, you can leave messages for other people and stuff. But yeah, that is how to complete the entire game of Getting Over It. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned from it on how to do Orange Hill if you were stuck there, or just the whole game in general if you had to learn the entire game. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.